You're all welcome to tonight's session. It's great to have everyone on board. Tonight, we are going to be talking about a really interesting topic. It's going to be a really practical session. Okay, that's why it's a workshop. It's not like our typical webinars that are usually like 30 minutes, 1 hour long, right? This session is going to be a little longer. Tonight is going to be something that I believe is very useful. In fact, it came from a point, this workshop was set up from a point where we saw that there was a serious skill gap, tools that these are openly discussing tools that will make our work very effective, very efficient. It's going to improve our, what do you call it now? Our workflow, our work process, right? So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Nurse Ayube Martin. Okay, I am Nurse Ayube Martin. I am a registered nurse by profession, and the founder of Health Expert, a community of healthcare professionals in tech. Okay, we are looking to improve the engagement of tech in healthcare. Right, we see that there is a lot of our healthcare professionals there are a lot of our healthcare professionals who are really lacking when it comes to tech skills, tech competencies. Right, so that was why we had to come up with Health Expert, okay, to try and bridge that skill gap between healthcare professionals and tech, right? So this way, in the community, we expose medics to, tech tools and products that hope will improve the quality of healthcare service delivery, across Nigeria, across the globe, right? Again, this workshop is coming straight also from that place, right, where we are trying to get people to know that okay, there are tools that you could use to improve your workflow. There are tools you can use to improve your work efficiency, such that things actually improve, such that you don't experience burnout, such that things move faster. The quality of your service delivery actually improves. Hence this workshop. Okay, so tonight we're discussing Google Workspace workshop. Okay, now this workshop is principally for medics. Okay, it's principally for medics. However, even if you are not a medic, it is fine. Okay, what you'll be learning tonight is also practical even outside of healthcare. It's just like I said, our community is geared towards primarily towards healthcare professionals, and that's why you see that we are focusing first on me. So in case you begin to hear me using illustrations, instances in the healthcare, okay, know that this this is the reason why. Okay, so yeah. So let's just go right in. Yeah, introductions. Now, a little disclaimer here. Okay, it's good we know. It's good I set this up. I say this up front now. Okay. I am not a certified Google tutor. Certified Google tutors are people that are licensed by Google. Okay, to deliver trainings on their tools. Okay, I'm not a certified Google tutor. I mean, I hope to be soon. Okay, but I am only sharing what I have. What tonight will only be sharing what I have learned from personal experience, from personal use, as well as from research. Okay, I have been using Google tools since as far back as actively since as far back as 2013. Okay, yeah, since 2013, when I got to discover the benefits of having a Google account. I call it one account to rule them all. Okay, because the moment you have your Google account created, you can use almost all the Google tools, okay, that are out there. So it's it's something that is proving to be really beneficial. It's something that is actually instrumental in a lot of my workflow. Since I got to discover the benefits of using Google tools, see, I have not gone back ever since. Okay, I am a strong advocate for Google tools. In fact, anything that you see that's going to improve my workflow, that's going to improve my work efficiency, count me in. I'm definitely going to start using it. The minute I start using it, forget about it. Here we come, right? So yes, I'm going to be talking straight from personal experience, from personal use, and from a bit of research that I have done, to maximize these tools. Okay, so a bit of housekeeping. This is actually a pre-recorded session. Okay, we had to set up a number of lines of defense because of the environment we find ourselves, right? Don't want to start having network issues and power issues and all that. So that's why we decided to have this. Well, we're going to see how we hope to have our live session, right? we just having this as a backup. So this is actually a pre-recorded video as opposed to the originally planned live session. Okay. Hopefully we won't get to use this, but in case we do, well, you know, life happens, I guess, right? So replace, please pay attention to this session because replace may not be replace may not be made available. Okay. Yeah, so they may not be made available at the end of these sessions. And then there are assignments, there are tasks for us to do for each of the tools to be discussed tonight, right? So it's good we really pay attention so that we don't miss out on anything. So get your pen, your notepad, your water, because we'll be here for quite a while, right? So you can see I have mine here. Okay. So for your questions and comments, I will be in the chat throughout the session. Okay. I'll be in the chat. That's the comments, the chat section. Okay. So you can leave your comments and questions in the chat, and I will answer them right away, right there in the chat. Okay. As well as in the group. Okay. So should in case you're not in the group, you can send me a message privately, and we can add. That's why you wouldn't be there, being that it's also in the mails that were sent. However, even if you're not, we'll send that to you. Okay. Okay, so why this workshop? Like I said, we found a significant skill gap, and this workshop is here to bridge that skill gap. Google Workspace tools actually there to using Google Workspace tools actually improves workflow, improves work efficiency. Okay, however, a lot of people don't use this. A lot of people don't use this probably because they don't know about it or because they don't know how to use it. Okay. I remember one of the organizations that I worked at previously, a hospital. Um, we needed to collect the data of over 200 nurses, and the message that was broadcasted was send your message, send your information, and there were quite about 10 informations like that. Send them to the contact of someone via WhatsApp, right? And I saw that, I was like, this is very, very inefficient, right? So like, okay, I had to meet the person championing the entire process, and like, okay, how about we actually use forms? And the person was like, what's Google Forms, right? And I had to start explaining, you can just set up a simple form, send out the link, they input that data, and we can just get the spreadsheet. Like, really? I didn't know about this. Do it for us. And I did it. And, in fact, the person was, grateful for that. I think since then they started using it. I don't know if they still do, but hey, I no longer work there. But yeah, that's the situation. So this workshop is simply to help people know that these tools are there to make their lives easier. Okay. They are there to make our service delivery better. They are there to make our workflow, more efficient, more effective. Right. So yeah. The learning outcomes, learning objectives for tonight. Okay. First, to expose medics to the array of productivity tools made available by Google. Okay. Now there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of what do you call it now, of tools, productivity tools made available by Google. But again, people don't really know about them. Like we have Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Maps, Google. I mean, just so many, right? So yeah, so this is just to expose medics to the array of tools that are available by Google, right? Then to equip participants with the skills to use Google Workspace tools effectively. You understand? So we want to make sure that people are actually able to use Google tools effectively. Then to provide practical insight. It's not just about knowing that they are there, but you also learn how to use them. Okay. So provide practical insights into essential Google tools, right? So that the learning objectives. So question: how familiar are you with Google tools? Right? Now in the chats right there, I want you to mention five Google tools. Five Google tools. Just five. Out of the many, many, very many tools that are out there, I want you to mention five. Okay, so in the next 10 seconds, mention five. Good. So that's about 10 seconds, right? Let me prove to you that there are so many. Okay, I'm not going to mention so much, but I'm just going to mention 10. Not so many, just 10. Okay, so let's go. Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Maps. We have Google Meets, Google Scholar, Google Drive. Okay, we have Google Chrome. Okay, we have GMAS. We have Gmail actually now affiliated to Google, so it's also being pushed by Google. We'll come to that in a bit. Okay, have Gmail. We have many others. Okay, so yeah, you see, Google Classrooms is there. What other one is there? Google Keep is there. Google Calendar is there. Gemini is there by Google, right? The Google AI tool. So you see, there are so many actually. Okay, and there's actually a place you can go ahead and see the Google Workspace tools. Okay, I'll show you that by the time we go into our practical sessions. Okay, so yes, lots of tools by Google, and yeah, you're not using them. Believe me, you're missing out. You are really. I'm not exaggerating now, but you're missing out. Okay, okay. So what exactly are Google tools? Okay, Google tools or Google Workspace is a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools. Okay, software and products developed and marketed by Google. Okay, so this way I was saying Google, that JMAS is affiliated to Google in the sense they are not necessarily produced by Google, but they're actually marketed by Google. Okay, in a sense, Google, I think there's a sort of endorsement of some sort, of GMAS by Google, right? So yeah, these are tools that are a collection of cloud computing tools. When I say cloud computing, we're talking about computer processes that are done, interacting with the cloud. So all of Google Workspace tools, they are all done, with the cloud in, everything is stored in the cloud. So with that, you are able to access them from basically anywhere at any time, so long as, of course, you have an internet access and you are able to access your account, right? So that's why it's a collection of cloud computing tools. Okay, and productivity, everything is there for productivity. It's all of Google services, even Google Analytics is there to improve workflow, is there to improve, processes. That's why they are productivity tools. And then, of course, being that they are all cloud in the cloud, you are able to collaborate. You have multiple people interacting on the same tool, or let's say on the same document, for instance, at the same time. Okay, so yeah, this consists of Gmail, contacts, calendar, Google Meet, chats for these ones are just for communication. We have Google Drive for storage. So everything you're doing, okay, automatically gets backed up in the cloud, but your own account has a drive for a drive, a sort of a drive account created for you. Okay, so everything you're doing, all the mails you'll be sending, all the attachments you've been sending, all the forms you'll be creating, the spreadsheet you've been creating, the docs, and everything you'll be doing, everything is there in your drive. So by the time you go check your drive, you will see a lot of stuff that you have like uploaded as attachments and all of that, right? So Google Drive is for storage, and then you have the Google Docs editor suite. Okay, these are all the documents, like um your word suite. Okay, so you have your Google Docs, your sheets, your slides, your form, even your keep also falls into this category for content creation. Okay, so these are tools that, these are some of the tools that are there when we talk about, the Google Workspace tools. Okay, so this is just you have Google Meet for video conferencing and online meeting, right, like we are meant to use. Okay, yeah, Google Calendar for scheduling and time management. See, there's something I like to tell people. If you tell me you want to meet me or you want us to have a meeting or an interaction, and I don't put it in my calendar right there and there, the chance of me making it not so great. Okay, so it's there to, help me keep track of my time, make sure that I am not missing out on any essential commitments. Okay, and all of that, right? So how familiar are you with Google Tools, right? So this is talking about the two different kinds of accounts when it comes to the Google Workspace, right? So we have the Google account, and then we have the Google Workspace account, right? Google Workspace account, formerly known as G Suite. G Suite. Okay. Now, the Google account is a free personal account. It's a free account created by Google. So the one you have is most likely, your Google account, right? It's a free personal account for that's from Google that provide access to a range of Google services like your Gmail, your Drive, your Docs, Sheets, Calendar, and many others, right? But your Google Workspace, again, formerly known as G Suite, is a subscription-based service for businesses and organizations, okay, to use, right? Because at this level, they realize that the information, the what you need, the requirements you have, right? The regular accounts will not really make up for it. Let's take for instance Google Drive. For Google accounts, the free account has a storage space of about 15 gigabytes, 15 GB. Okay. However, for the Google Workspace, I think the basic is about 1 terabyte. So you can imagine the gap, because as an organization, you need more time, you need more space, right? By the time I'm sending mails and sending files and all of those things, you need more space. So there are several features, like for Google Workspace, you have like your custom email domains. So instead of having like healthexfair@gmail.com, which is like the free one, you get something like info@healthexfair.com, right? Custom domain, custom email domain, right? You have advanced security and management features. I think this is where you are able to access, like Google for Education. Now you are able to access Google Classrooms, right? You're able to access Google Classroom. There's even Google. I don't know. I think Google for Healthcare, Google Healthcare, there's a way they phrase it, right? Where they provide special features for healthcare industry. So as a healthcare organization, you might want to look into that. Again, these are all subscription based, right? And then of course the 24/7 customer support, right? So what are some benefits of using Google tools? We have engaged collaboration. You can have multiple people actually working on the same thing, collaborating on the same document at the same time, live, right? Not like the one that you have to work on it, then send the document itself to someone, and then they'll have to send it back for something else. No, everybody works on the same thing. When it's ready, you can now export, right? You have to simplify project management and team communication. Okay, like when you have a workflow, we'll come to collaborations in a bit when we're in the practical session, right? You'll see where people can leave comments and all of that, such that everything is there and you have that workflow. The entire team is able to communicate and draw someone's attention to a particular thing in the communicate, right? Track work You can track workflow processes, you can track workflows and processes. There's Google services they have a pretty decent level of security, and of course your cloud storage and computing, like we've talked about, right? So what are some importance of Google Workspace for medics, right? um to improve healthcare team collaboration, to break down healthcare to break down team care team silos, to optimize patient outcomes, keep the right people up to date on diagnosis, tests, and treatment plans, right? So like take for instance, you don't have to, like like in most of our hospitals we still use this paper folder, right? So for someone who has been coming for treatment for years, you see like this very big folder, and when person wants to go run some tests, for instance, you need to carry that folder from the medical records unit to the physician's office, from there to the ward, and then to the lab, and all of these things, all of the, like it gets pretty messy. Some pages get missing along the way, and then when you need some information, they are not there. And so you see, like, you're able to actually keep things together, and you are able to improve your collaboration, your communication, because like the medical records officer can simply pull out the patient data from let's say your drive, for instance, and then whatever needs to be there, create a new sheet for the visit, like new document for the visit, for report. The physician can document for care and diagnosis and tests and treatment plan and all that. The nurse follows up on the same document. Whenever the nurse's physician's attention is needed, they can just drop a comment, or put a note there that they can see at any time. The lab scientists can easily write there and there, like see the tests that are requested, and then input the results as well. So you see, it improves team collaboration. It increases frontline caregiver engagement and retention. There's improved communication, collaboration, digitalizes manual tasks to help with burnout. You see, having to work so much simply because you're having to carry that, all that folder, you're having to work so much and all of that. So much stress, right? And of course, more stress, more burnout. So, it's able to help with that as well. So it's also able to help deliver secure and reliable virtual care. Now, Google Meet, for instance, now no one can just come and hack into Google Meet and be seeing what you're doing, right? So and you're able to deliver secure, reliable virtual care. Someone can, like as we're interacting now, let's say we're on the Google, hopefully we're using Google Meet, right? I can see you, whatever examination, physical examination that needs to be performed, I can do it, from wherever you are, from across the globe, and all of that. And of course, people can schedule, book an appointment to see you. This is especially beneficial when looking at telehealth or teleconsulting services, right? So I need to be sure. Are we following so far? I would really like to know if we're following so far. So if you are, remember, you can just drop if you have any comments, any questions, you can just drop them in the chat, and I will respond to it right there in the chat as well as in the group. Okay, so just give me a moment. Let me just have a drink of water. Okay. Okay, now moving on. Okay, so for tonight, we'll be looking at just a few of the essential Google tools. Okay, we'll be looking at Google Docs, we'll be looking at Google Sheets, we'll be looking at Google Slides, Forms, and Drive. Not necessarily in that order, but yeah. Okay, so let me just change my screen here. Just give me a moment. So I think first, before that, I think, yeah, Google Docs. Okay, so Google Docs is the word processing application for Google, right? Here you're able to, it is just for Word, like your regular Microsoft Word, right? So this here you just have your documents, your information on a page and all that. So now we'll just go right in. Okay, so you see how to actually use Google Docs. Now, mind you, while the features of Google Docs on PC and on phone are pretty much same, right? The interface, the arrangement of the interface may be quite different. So you might have to play around to know where what is, you understand? But at least having this knowledge, better positions you to know that, okay, this is actually there. And, you just know, oh, since this is there, then how do I locate it on the phone? So you keep that in mind. So let's move on to our practical demonstration. Okay. So what we just do is you just open a new tab, right? So I have the Wikipedia page opens because we need data that will be input into our thing, right? So you just enter this URL, this site link. So to access Google Docs, it's docs.google.com, right? Now it's good to know here that when you're using, remember we talked about, where is that slide? We talked about the Google Docs editor suites, right? Google Docs editor, that's the editor suites that you use in working on documents on Google, right? We talked about Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, right? Why is this not opening? Right? So all of this, when you want to access them, when you want to access them, what you just do is you just type Google Docs again, because they are all the Docs editor suites, right? They are all under Docs, right? So you just write docs.google.com / whatever it is. So like for Docs, for instance, by the time you just type docs.google.com, usually it goes to Google Docs by default. Or if you write / documents, it will go to Google Docs as well, right? Or you type / link sheets, it's going to take you to Google Sheets, right? If you type / presentation, you take you to Google Slides. Go / forms will take you to forms. Okay, so let's go right into it. Let me bring this back. So that's, yeah. So docs.google.com, right? This is it right here. Docs.google.com and enter. Okay, so it's loading. Great. Now you see, by the time you open the Google Docs, I said I was going to show you where the Google, like a list of the Google tools. So if you open your Google Chrome, right, Right here you see the name of your account, the icon, your image, photo, and whatever it is here. Then you see these boxes here. Okay, these are the Google apps, right? So you just click on that and you can see all the Google tools. In fact, Google News is there, YouTube is there, Chats is there, Ad Center is there, shopping. Actually, you can shop from Google. Google has an e-commerce store where you can shop a number of things to track finances, classroom, Google Earth, art and culture. Google One is there, Google Travel is there, and and of course there are more. Okay, so you can always go there and check for the tool you want, right? So back to our Google Docs demonstration. So right here, you can change between the various Google Docs. You see Google Docs, Google Docs suites. So you can switch to whichever one in the suite you want, and of course you can also access your drive from here, right? But we are where we want to be, so there's no need to go clicking on anything there. Okay, so this is the home button, and this is the search bar. You can search for a document that you've already worked on in the past, right? So this is where having the title that the more suitable title for your text for your document actually comes in. You understand? So these are your templates gallery. Okay, this is where you have some templates that you can easily modify for whatever, so you don't have to keep starting from scratch. Otherwise, you could get stuck in like the layout and the settings and a bunch of other things. So there are a number of galleries. So let's just explore the gallery a bit, the template gallery a bit, right? So you have the resume section. You have different resume formats here. You have your letters, company letters, personal letters, informal letters with different style arrangement styles. You have your recipe books. You have pet resume. Okay, like for those that may want to create ebooks and stuff, right? You have like your project proposals, meeting notes, your brochure, your brochure, your agreement contracts, newsletters, and all of that, So you have different templates here. You can always just, when you have something you want to create, a document you want to create, you can always just come here and see, find out to see if there is a template for it, right? So here you see all the work you've done so far, right? But we're not going into any of this right now. These ones are not even much. You need to see my personal account, right? Everything I do, I am working on. You rarely see me using like normal MS Word, except on a computer or on a system that I'm not able to really sign into my account, right? Otherwise, I am always using my Google Docs, such that wherever I go, I can just continue my work. I may work on it from PC on transit. I'm working on it on my phone, and everything is on the cloud, so it gets synchronized automatically, right? Okay, so moving on. We have Google. So to get started, we're just going to start with a blank document, right? So you have we're going to open a blank document here. It's loading. Network is pretty slow. Okay, now by the time you click on a blank document, you're going to come up to a page and interface that's very, very similar to this. Okay, similar. In fact, you're going to come up to this exact same page actually. Okay, so you're going to come up to this, and yeah, let's proceed from here. Okay, so here you have your home, your docs home, to take it back to the previous page you just came from, right? The home where you have like your templates and all that, right? Then this is where you put the title, the name of the document, so that again you can easily make your arrangements, right? This way you can start it so that it's among your favorite document, and you can easily access it. There's a section for it as well. Okay, so now to explore the menus that are there, okay, we have the file. Now this file option here, you see these options there. Okay, this file menu here, you see this option there. Now you have the new option. With new, you can create a new document. Let's say you're working on this one, and oh, remember there's something else I need to work on. Instead of first going home to home and then starting afresh, you can just come here and click on new document, and any document opens up. Then you can just pull out a form from the template gallery. Or this is to open one that you already have existing, not a new document. Remember, we said a new document there, right? This is to pull out an existing document that you have, right? You need to make a copy of this particular one, right? let's say, oh, this one was so well done, and whatever, you want to make a copy of it, just click on make a copy, right? This is to share. We'll come to the sharing options in a bit, okay, because there are ways we actually share documents using Google Documents. Using the Google Suite, right? This is for email. You can send this as an email collaborators. You can, send as a draft. This is to download in various formats as a Word file, open document format, as a PDF document, even as a web page, okay, as HTML. You can download it here. So you just, insert it into your website, okay. This is where you rename, or you can just come here to rename. This is, to change the version history, because we're not started working on this document yet. That's why you see that it's not, bold. So it's fainted to show that's not it's not active at the moment, right? So you can make it available offline. Now there's a Chrome extension that you can actually download, such that you are able to work on your documents offline as well. Then when you come online, it just synchronizes and gets uploaded to the cloud, right? When you're using it for the first time, they'll prompt you with that, but yeah, I already have it on my system. So even if the network goes off now, you'll see it's there. I'll show it to you in a bit by the time we start working, right? So here you can change the language, you can set up the page. So for page setup, right, you can choose, so okay, these are pages, right? How you whatever changes you're making here now, like the orientation, whether you want to be portrait or landscape, right? You can do that here. You can change the paper size, right? So let's use, by using A4, right? The page color, okay. Let's set to this blue, and then the margins, right? Let's leave the margins like this, okay. Now you can choose to make this the entire page or just a selected section, okay, of the documents you're working. So let's leave whole documents, right? So if you want this to be applicable across all the documents you'll be working on moving forward, you can always set it to default, but we don't want to do that right now. So just click OK, and you'll see the page color has been changed. Right, so let's go back, and of course you can just use this button here, undo, to undo your last activity, right? Control Z, okay, or you just click on this to take it back, or you can redo it, right, by using this, or Control Y, okay. So let's undo it, right? This is to print, this is to check for spelling and grammar, this is for the format, okay. Here the edit option, again, undo, redo. This is to cut, like if you select text, or select a couple of text, you can just cut or copy. Cut is to completely remove it and move it somewhere else. Copy is, okay, I want to duplicate, right? That's the difference between cut and copy. Then of course, this is paste. This is paste without formatting. This is to select, find and replace. This is one tool that I really find very useful. Control F also does this for you, right? View, these are various ways you can view the document, or insert. You can insert your image. You can, inserting your image, you can insert directly from your computer, from the web. You can just search on the web and import it. You can insert from your drive, from your phone, from your photos folder, your by URL. Just grab the URL and bring it here, and it gets imported directly, right? But the thing about the URL method is, when you don't have an internet, it won't, like when your document is not connected to the internet, it's just the URL or the alternate text that is likely to show. Okay, it may not bring out the image, so you need to be on the internet for the URL to actually bring out the image, right? So you have, like, from camera, such that you can just use your camera right there, like your laptop camera, to just snap or take a video, and then you insert it directly. I don't need to, like, first edit video somewhere and then begin to import more work, right? So here you can import a table. Here you can choose the number of columns, you can choose the number of rows. You can draw, make a new drawing, a drawing that is already in your drive. Google has this tool. What's it called again? Like a tool that actually allows, like a sketch pad of sorts, that actually allows you to draw. Okay, so you can just pull in from the drawing thing there, right? This is for your charts, or you can import data or your charts, from Google Sheets. You can actually make charts on Google Sheets. Horizontal line, emojis, smart shapes, drop downs are, what you see now is hiding more information. So by the time you click on it, it brings out all the other informations, right? Footnotes, you put your notes, and then something extra to it, right? Building blocks, special characters, equations, watermarks, header, all of these are there. Then, of course, you can also input your table of contents. Okay, we'll come to how to actually set table of contents in a bit more practically in a bit. Okay, so this is your format. Your format is talking about how your text look, how your document looks like. Okay, so this formatting your text: bold, italics, underline, strike through, superscript, subscript. On your size, you can choose to increase the text size. Capitalization, you can choose to, like, you can highlight a couple of text and say, okay, I want everything to be lowercase or uppercase, right? Or the title case means this is a boy, capital T, capital I, capital A, capital B, right? That's what title text means, that the first letter of every word becomes capital. Okay. This paragraph, various paragraph styles. Now, there are various paragraph styles here. It's good to know the benefits of this paragraph. Now, normal text is talking about the body of the text, right? The body of, like, your paragraph, whatever it is, your text, right? Title is the main heading. That's everything you're about to talk about in this document. This is the main heading, the title heading. You know what the title is now, the title heading, right? However, subtitle is like a footnote that sort of describes the main heading or the title, right? Then you now come to heading one. Now, like when you're writing a book, for instance, or you're writing something and you have a heading, and then you have a subheading, and even that subheading has like a subheading, right? So you have like one AI, right? One AI, then small a. You understand that kind of, that happens to us a lot during exams, if you remember. Okay, I don't know about your own college or school of nursing, but at my place we had a lot of those questions, right? One AI, answer all. The kind of question every student hates to see, right? So heading one is one. Heading two is like under heading one, which is A. Heading three is under heading two, which is I. You understand? So one AI, heading one, two, three. I hope that's clear, right? So, as it keeps subbing, that's where all of these things. Now, this is practically applicable, and this is good, to help you really arrange your documents properly. And it's applicable when you're creating your table of contents. You remember we saw the place where you can insert a table of content, right? So that way it helps you arrange. So your heading is there, you see the page number. Subheading one is there, you see the page number. Subheading two is there, you see the page number, and all of that arrangement. Okay, so this is your alignment, and in the left, center, right, justified, right, increase indent and all that. Your bulletin and numbering are there. Now, it's good to know that this format section, a number of the options in this format menu, right, you have them here. You have a number of them here, right? You see the options here most of the time. Okay, so page orientation and all of that. We've seen page orientation at under files, right? That's under page setup, right? So tools, you have your spelling and grammar checker, right? Your word count, you want to know how many words you've written. Review suggested edits, because as you're working, Google is also, Google has, like, access to the internet and dictionary and all that, so it's able to, check for grammar and spelling corrections for you. Compare documents, you can, check for citation, you can insert citations. You will see the citations feature in a bit. Line numbers, you can, put a number to all the lines, so you know how many lines are there. You can link objects on your dictionary here. Translate, you can translate an entire document into another language, right? Voice typing, another one of my favorite features, right? When I have like lots of work to type, I don't really type everything. I just read it out, so it converts. I use it typically on my phone though, so like it converts voice to text, right? This would have been very useful for me sometime in my second year of nursing school, okay? Because I had to type an entire book. Then, like, we're trying to look for alternate, secondary income, right? I registered with this company, and they gave me like this book I needed to type. Okay, so I had to, like, at a point I got so fed up. I didn't know this feature was there. If this feature was there, my work would have I would have, just read the entire book out or given someone to read it, and the entire thing would have typed out for me, and I'll just edit and set the format and go and submit my work. Like, but I didn't know. Now you do. Okay. So notification setting, you have notification setting, prefaces and all that. Notifications is, like, especially when you're collaborating with others. So notification is like, setting your notification so that you know when to receive a mail that someone has done something. You want it to be that when you are when you've been highlighted, when you've been tagged, yeah, you can tag people in the document. Actually, we'll come to that in a bit. Okay. When you've been tagged, is it when someone edits a document, a page, or what, when exactly you want to be notified? How do you want to be notified? Right? All of that comes in these notification settings. Okay, then there is the extensions. Now, add-ons are features that, extra tools that improve the functionality of your document. Okay, when building website, we call these plugins. Here, we call them add-ons, right? We're still talking about the same thing. Extra tools that improve the functionality of your documents, your work, right? So you have different add-ons. Now, there was a company I set up an add-on for an academy. So what I did for them was, the registration, like to register as a student in the academy. By the time you come, they'll give you a form to fill, a Google form to fill. Then you upload your passport, right? So I was able to include an add-on, into the workflow such that by the time you click on, by the time you click submit, you automatically receive a mail. Now, in that mail, you receive an attachment, a PDF document is an attachment, which is like this document here now, for instance, right? In that you have all the information. Like, it's not just like copy and paste the information on the form. No, it was like, congratulations, you'll be successfully admitted into so academy, or congratulations, your first name as you put in the form, right? You've been accepted into the academy to study so and so as you put in the form. All right. Kindly find below the necessary information like resumption date, blah 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 blah, and and then the passport the person uploaded. When we get to forms, you see how to tell people to upload passports and photos and all that. The photo the person uploaded was what we put there. Like, by the time we set that up and people were registering, like, it blew them. Like, you mean you did all this from? Yes, it's possible. All you need to do is know the right add-on to use, and you can make it work. Okay. Then, yeah, so that's that. Then of course you have help. Help is basically, like, you need extra information, privacy policies, use cases, and shortcuts and trainings and all that, so you know how best to use. I mean, how better to know how to use a tool than to meet the producer for the tool, right? Okay, so you have that. Then these are the main menu options here. Now, if you see this, I already talked about title, which we'll come to renaming our document in a bit. I talked about the star. Now, by the time you see, here is the move folder. So basically, this document now is saved directly into my drive. It's not in any folder, but you can move it from one folder to another. You understand? Right from here itself. Okay, it's in the Martin, the folder named Martin. I want to move it to the folder named Ayube. So you can easily move it from folder Martin to folder Ayube right from here. Okay. Of course, if you want to copy, you have to do that over there. Then you now have this. Whenever you're working on a document, try to make sure you keep your eye on this icon here. Okay, because this icon here tells you whether or not your work is saved. Because something happened to me last night, right? So I worked on a document, and I worked through the night. I was tired, I was sleepy, I really needed to go to bed, and I just put this, worked on documents and sent the link, shared the link with, the person I was working on the documents with. And like, look, I shared it with you. You now have access to it. I'm going to bed. I dropped the person a message. Only for the person to send me a reply and say he has not seen the document. Now, like, how can that be possible? I had that commitment in the morning. When I was done, had time to sit down, and I realized that even though I had actually shared the document, I didn't check to see that it was actually saved to the cloud. It was saved to my system. Why? Because of network. You understand? So it's good you are always watching this document now. Here. Now, by the time you start working on your document, you will see here it's saying saving. Okay. Now you see it has showed save to drive, meaning it's been uploaded to the cloud. So anybody anywhere on this same document will see what I have typed. Even as I'm working on it, they are seeing it. You understand? Because it is saving automatically to the cloud. If you're working on it from wherever you are, I'll be seeing it here as well. You understand? However, when you have, remember I talked about an add-on that you may need to get so that you can have the a Chrome extension rather you can get so that you have the thing on your system as offline. In case the network goes off, you can now switch to offline. So let me show that. Let me demonstrate that to you now. Let me just put on my Wi-Fi here. Okay, now by the time I start, it should be disconnected now. Now by the time I start typing, you see it's still showing saving. Okay, but the saving where it is saved now will change. It will no longer be saved to drive. Okay, it's still saving. It will no longer be changed to drive. Instead, you see it has been saved to this device. You see now. So that document I worked on last night was saved to the device. I did not take note. And then you see the shape of this thing. It has turned to like, this laptop, this computer shape with the tick showing that it has been saved to the device. Now let me connect back to my Wi-Fi. Okay, so you can see and you see that, okay, it's by the time you connect to your Wi-Fi, you're working on it, or you can just refresh the document and, automatically everything gets uploaded to the cloud. You don't need to manually start uploading. See, save to drive. You understand? So it's good you always take note of that, right? Yeah. So now coming to these options here, we talked about these ones. This is where you select your text style. Remember, we talked about the text style, your title, subtitle, heading one, two, three options. You can choose to save default styles, right? This is where you select you choose the font type. Okay, see, working offline. It has changed. Why? Because something just happened to my network, right? So it's letting me, hello, what you're working on is not going to the cloud, it's just on your local PC here. Take note, right? So it's good you're paying attention to this. Let me see what's going on my network. Okay, so that should have reset the network here back. Okay, so this is to change the font. You have several fonts, and of course from Google you can always add more fonts, right? This is for the font size. So let's see here. You can manually input, come here, just select the one you want, or you can manually input it, let's say 50. You see it changed, or you can use the plus to increase, minus to reduce by 1 pixel. Okay, then here is to make it bold or unbold. See, by the time I make it bold now, you see that bold is now highlighted, right? On bold, you can make it you can italicize it, okay, make it slanty, or you can underline it. By the time you click on it the second time to get deactivated, or you can change the color. Let's change it to red, right? Change the color, like we want to draw attention, like my presentation. You see, different key points have keywords, have different colors, right? Or you can choose to highlight it. Let's highlight it with let's say blue. Okay, so you see now it's been highlighted with blue. Okay, so yeah, let's change this back to none. Let's change the text color to black. Let's remove the underline. Let's remove the italicized. Okay, then let's change the text size to 25. Okay, so that's better. Of course, you can always hyperlink it. You can insert a link to a particular text. So let's say, of course, by the time you click on this link, remember everything is saved to the cloud. So everything automatically has a link, right? So you can come here and hyperlink from your drive, right? They will automatically show, or if you have like, a heading, you can just come here and type on it and you'll see, everything. Or you can just enter the link, let's say docs.google.com, right, and click apply. So now you see it has changed. It is now highlighted. The text color has changed to blue and it's now underlined. Now this is how it typically works. Sometimes, however, I've seen some persons on the settings they made, right, change to red, change to green, a couple of other colors depending on what suits you, but standard is blue. You can use to. Okay, so by the time I send this to you, let's say as a PDF, as a Word, whatever format I send it to you as, by the time you click on this now, it will take you to this URL here. Okay, so let's remove. This is to remove the link, this is to copy the link, this is to edit the link, and this is to simply remove the link. Okay, so let's remove the link now. This is to drop a comment. Now I can simply highlight this text and say I want somebody to pay attention to this. Now I can come here and tag the person at Martin Eyube. Okay, kindly change my typing. Kindly change this to error and comment. Okay, see now, because I have not actually shared this documents with Martin Ayube before. Okay, that's why it's bringing up this menu. So now I want to share this with people with this with Martin Ayube, and I want him to only access it as a commenter. Okay, now the sharing options, there are actually three sharing options, but here there are only two. Okay, because I'm saying he should comment because I'm tagging him in the document. That's why I'm bringing up only two here. So by the time I share, I can choose to share it with him as a commenter, a commenter, okay, or an editor. Okay, a commenter is simply somebody that can drop a comment but cannot touch my document, what I have done in my document, right? An editor, however, can comment, can edit. You understand? Then the third option is a viewer. We'll come to that soon. Okay, the third option is a viewer. Now, the viewer is basically someone who can only view, cannot do anything else other than view. You understand, right? So you can set this to allow anyone with link to access that. Say, I'm not just sharing with only Martin now. I'm sharing with, I'm just setting it so that anybody that has link, including Martin or outside of Martin, or person can, choose to. The person can be an editor or a commenter as well. Okay. Or you can say, don't give access to anybody. Anybody that has a link has to get approval from me before they can edit it. You understand? So let's set this share with people, share with Martin, and comment. So now Martin, this email address will receive a prompt that my attention is needed on this document, right? So here, so that's to leave a comment on something, a particular text or phrase or whatever, right? This is to insert a document. Now, for you to see all the comments in the document, right? You can always come here, see this icon up here. You can come here, click on that, and it will show all the comments in that document, right? The ones that you were tagged in, the ones that were pertaining to you, right? That's this account now has not been tagged anywhere, so that's why they're not here. But if you've been tagged somewhere, right, so that the one that is pertaining to you, you just come to this for you section, and you see it here. Against your notifications settings here, you can choose to set that how you want it to be, right? All types open, the ones that you've resolved, the ones that have not been resolved. Here is set to all. So here you see all the comments, right? This option is when you want to present, let's say you want to present this document now. You want to present it in a call, right? In a meeting, a Google Meet meeting, right? So here you have you can easily start a meeting straight up from here, okay, so that you can present this, or you can join an existing meeting. This is already a preset meeting, right? So that's why you see this one there. If you don't have any preset meeting, you won't see this one there. Okay, so you can start a meeting, or you can use a meeting ID. Let's say you already have your meeting ID, you can just input it, and your meeting code, you can just input it here, and it's going to just project basically directly into that meeting code, right? So this is to share. Now look at share. This is when you want to share this with somebody. Okay, yeah, we've not really renamed the document. Okay, so that's why it's bringing that option there. Okay, we'll rename it in a bit. Okay, share untitled document, right? So you can easily input someone's name here, like we saw earlier, how we put my name. So you can see here, martineb@gmail.com is set to commenter, right? So these are the three options: viewer, commenter, editor. You can choose to transfer on. Okay, I am done working on this document for this company, and I'm not supposed to have access to it again. I can just transfer ownership to, this email that is the document is shared with, right? Or you can choose to remove access. Okay, hey, you're done. I don't want you to have access to the document again. Remove the access completely, right? General access. Anybody with the link, it's restricted. So even if you have the link, I still have to give you approval before you can, work on the document or even see the document, right? Or anyone with link can choose. You can set it so that anybody with the link can be a viewer, can be a commenter, or can be an editor. You understand? So we have an assignment where this is going to be in use. So please take note of this. Okay, so you can just copy the link and then click on done, and that's it. That's how you share a Google document, right? So this is of course just for your your account. So yeah. Yes. So these are where you set your bold, italic, color, your comment. You can insert image from here. This is for your alignment. This is for your space. This is for check boxes. This is for bullets. This is for your numbers. a few more options, and all of that. Now, if you look at this place here, you will see that this place here is showing your document outline. Show document outline, right? Document outline is basically, let's close this. Document outline is basically, a list of all your headings, your titles, and stuff like that. So let's just work on a document. Let's just work on something so you see practically how it is like. Okay. So now let me come to Wikipedia and just grab a few texts. Okay. I'm just going to copy this. Control C. So much hyperlinked text. Control C. Let's delete this. And paste. Okay, pasted. Can you see even that image is there too? Okay, so now I want to remove all this hyperlinked text. So Control A, we highlight everything. Let me link it off first. Right, apply. Then now I can Control A and on remove link. So you see all the links have been removed. Now it's better, it's cleaner now. Even some tables have been inserted as well. So okay, we should remove some of these things. Make me a local prof. Right. So you can always, edit as you want. That's a table there. So delete table. Okay, now let's leave this image for particular reasons. Okay. So now we have this text over here, right? You will see at some point like this now, this bracket 14 here now, right? You can see that bracket 14 there now is simply a citation. Okay, for those who may not know, that's a citation. So by the time you're doing you are setting your format, is it format? No. Tools, and you're using, in certain citations, your document actually comes, like that. So you can set your citations 1, 2, 3, and then it automatically sets, right? So of course you need to like list your citations first, then you now have to set that up, right? So let's let's arrange this document now so that it will look more visually appealing and orderly, right? So let's see, our title for this document is about Google. What we on here, see there's a spelling error here, right? So I can just come to spelling and grammar, click on it, right? I think I may be disconnected right now. Normally by the time you hover, okay, this is my Grammarly, right? So I have installed Grammarly, which is another very good Chrome extension that you should have for grammar and spelling corrections. Okay, because sometimes you can see now Google is telling me not available correction, whereas there is a spelling error here, right? So change to Google. Okay, so about Google, that's this heading. That's my title of my document, right? So let's say this is going to be a heading itself. From Wikipedia is going to be a heading itself. Okay, then it's being it up from there. Google LLC is going to be a subheading, right? What else is there? Okay, the CEO is going to be another subheading. Let's put this the CEO here. Okay, or better yet, let's put this the CEO. Cancel. Put this here. Okay, so you have this document like this now. So remember, we said from the style, you can actually choose how you want it to be, right? You'll see that how it's gonna why it's beneficial in a bit, right? So you see about, let's change this to from normal text, right, to title. Right now, before we do that, let's undo this. Before we do that, now you see we've seen our named our document now. Now we've seen our named our document here. This is our document, right? So one cheat that will prove very useful to you, okay, is by the time you want to rename your document, let's say it is, you're about to share or whatever, it brings up that pop-up that says you've not renamed your document, right? You can come here and manually rename the document. That's this place here. See, it's showing untitled document here. You can choose to rename it here, or you can just click on it from the first time you come to that point. You just click on it, and by the time you click on it, oh, my PC it's disconnected. Hey, today not today. This network is wow. Okay, so this should work now. So see, I've never even made any changes, already saving, right? So you can just come here for the first time. It's gonna by the time you click on it, the very first line there, right, is going to change. It's going to adopt that as a title of a document. So that's why it's good to whatever you have, even if it's like one full paragraph that you have as one line there, okay, and the first line there is going to put it here. So you can just edit it, or you can come here and always modify it as you want, right? You can always modify it as you want. So there is that as well. Okay, so right. Okay, so now let's change this to title. Let's change this to heading one, right? Let's change this to heading 2. That's a subheading under heading 1. And let's change this to heading 1 again. Okay, I think we should get another thing than this Google LLC. Let's use Amazon as heading 2. So you see, right? So let's change this to heading 2. So this heading 2 is under heading 1, which is under, heading. Sorry. Okay, no, that should be this should be heading 3. Is under heading 2, which is under heading 1, right? Now, by the time you come to your document outline here, you'll see it here. See, this is your title. This is heading 1. This is heading 2, which is, you see the way it's pushing in, right? The alignment is going inwards. The intent is going inward, right? This is heading 1. This is heading 2. This is heading 3, because it shows that they are under each other, right? And this is again heading 1. So by the time you have more headings under, you just keep arranging it like that, right? So by the time you have, let's say you want to change this Amazon now from heading 2 to heading 1. Now keep watching this outline here. You see, by the time I change it, it has taken the same position as this heading 2 here. You understand? So by the time I change it to heading 4, you see the space is going to be further in. Then if I change this to heading 3, you'll see that it's going to be under, the space is going to be meant to be inward, but because there's no heading 2, that's why it's still there. But you understand the full gist of things, right? So that's how that actually works, because it's going to keep your work very orderly. Now let's say we want to input a table of content, because this is very useful when your table of content, right? So let's come to insert, right? Table of contents, right? So you can see different table of content styles here, right? So you can see this one now doesn't have those dots. This one has dots. This one is just, the text, the heading, and then page number. Okay, so let's put this. Let's choose this second one that has dots. So you see your heading 1, the page number is there. Heading 2, the page number is there. Heading 3, page number is there. You can see heading 1 again, the page number is there. So as you're working and the page of the particular heading is changing, okay, you see that automatically it will be changing over there. Okay, so you see Google LLC. Okay, it didn't change. Okay, I think you're supposed to refresh first before, so you just come here and update. You see it will change. You understand? So yeah, that is that about that. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it. For, of course, you can choose to modify as you want, right? So yeah, that's about it for this. Then something else that you should know is, like, when you see there's the line between there's space in between each of the lines, and then there's space between each of the paragraphs, right? So now by the time you select, let's say you select this now, and you come to this line and line and paragraph spacing here, you click on that, right? You see this one is selected. And by the time I click on double, for instance, you see the line space in between the lines changes, right? This of course also affects your paragraph. You can say add remove space, because there's a space before the paragraph. Now you can choose to remove it, so that it joins almost with the paragraph above. Okay, or you can say remove space after paragraph. That means whatever, there's no space after the paragraph, meaning whatever is below can join with it. You understand? So it's good you set it. Personally, I always like to have both activated, such that there is space before and after each paragraph. To keep my work organized and orderly, right? Then 1.5 is enough spacing. Okay, but if it's like a formal document like a letter and you want it to look really neat, okay, you can make it 1.5, and you have like for your thesis and all of that, right? So you can see the space here now is a little bigger, making your work more legible, right? So that's that about that. I hope this has been really helpful. So let's go right back into our presentation. Let's continue with our presentation. Okay, so yes, slideshow. Okay, so I hope you now have an insight about how to use Google Docs, right? Remember the link to Google Docs is docs.google.com forward slash, you could put forward slash documents, or you can just go straight up and it appears there. Okay, so for our task, remember this is a workshop, so you are gonna have tasks at the end of each what do you call it, each tool, right? For our task, you're expected to create a sample patient report template. Now, what you should include are just patient's name, date of birth, medical history, and treatment plan. Okay, that's all you're meant to just do. Those are meant what you're meant to just put in your template. You understand? So a template is basically a sample document that you can edit and build upon. You understand? So that's what you should do there. Then save the template in a shared drive folder, okay, for easy access and reuse. Just in drive folder, just rename it as workshop, Google Workspace workshop assignments, right? And then share, as you can remember, we talked about the various sharing options, right? So you can just share it as a commenter, not a viewer, not editor, but commenter. You should share it as commenter. Take note of that. Okay, within the next 24 hours. So within the next 24 hours, we're looking forward to seeing this assignment, the link to this in the group. So by the time I click on it, I should be able to see that it is set to comment, so I can only comment and leave the review on it. Okay, so this should be done within the next 24 hours. Moving on, moving on to Google Slides. I think one of these days we'll have a presentation on how to, we'll have a webinar or workshop, whatever it may be, on how to actually make effective presentations, because I see a lot of presentation a lot of people use, and when I see them, I cringe at it. Like, I mean, come on, who hasn't been enjoying my presentation so far? Like, see how neat and, dare I say, professional looking this looks, right? The reason why I see so many colors here is because these are the brand colors of Google. Okay, so again, emphasizing, you see, it's, I mean, now, come on. Even if Google see this self, the world, you know, anyway, moving on. Okay, so Google Slides. Okay, so Google Slides is basically the presentation application of Google. Okay, so yeah, so to use Google Slides, you just go to docs.google.com. Remember, I said part of the Docs presentation suite by Google, Docs suite by Google. Okay, so docs.google.com forward slash presentation, and it will take you to Google Slides. So let's dive right into the practical for application for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna, okay, so let's leave this document here so that we can use it. Let's open a new tab and docs.google.com forward slash presentation, and then go in. So by the time you open it, it's, you have this plane like this, really see the previous work you've done, and your template gallery like we had in the docs, right? So you can see different templates here, your portfolio, proposals, presentations, and all that. Okay, so let's go back, and of course you see have here where you can access all the other suites, or go home and all that, search all that. So let's open a new document and let's see. Okay, now it's good to know, okay, that there are a number of similarities between Google Docs, especially when it comes to the setting, the formatting, okay, styles and stuff. There are a number of similarities between Google Docs and Google Slides. Okay, now there are similarities, but obviously there are lots of differences as well. Okay, so one of the similarities is, like, for the styles, you may see it may be similar. A number of things may be similar. Even the interface is somewhat similar. Okay, however, the things that make presentation, that make slides, right, is distinct. It's really different from Google, from Docs itself. You understand? So give me a moment. Okay, pretty different from it, right? So by the time you log into, by the time you enter a new presentation there, you come up, you see this interface as it is like this now. Now, when you don't have a default theme set, you see your themes at the side. Now, themes are basically settings or designs that have been pre-made so that your entire presentation has the same feel. Okay, it's talking about the feel, the style, the like the things like the color, the fonts that you'll be using in that presentation, right? So that it evokes a particular feeling, either comfort or professional or childish, whimsical, stuff like that, right? So you see different presentation, different themes here have different emotions that, like, by the time you see something like this, and okay, this one is going to be a creative presentation, right? Like your business proposal, your site website, graphic design, portfolios and stuff, right? When you see something like this now, see how sleek and professional it looks, right? These ones are serious, time to be serious, you understand. Then when you come to something like, which one now, this one now, you see these charts and this bar chart here and graphs and stuff, okay, this one you're looking at, you're about to make a lot of statistical presentations, right? So it gives a feel, right? So let's just choose one. Let's go with this for now. Yeah, so you see how this looks. Now, to see how the other slides, remember, these are themes, right? Now when you come up here, you will see layouts. Layouts are for each slide, how the text or how the elements in each layout is going to, how each element in each slide is going to look, the arrangement, what sort of stuffs are going to be on your slide, right? Is it going to be heading and title, or just heading or a quote, or is it going to be just the body, or are you going to insert image, or the arrangement of the elements basically. So you see this one, it has that statistical, see this layout here now, just title is a title layout. Okay. um let's see another one. You have this one that is title and two columns, right? This theme is not doing it for me at all, at all, at all. Let's try this one. Okay, you can see the font in this one is pretty whimsical. It's this childish font, right? So you see, by the time I say, of course, you can change the font at any point in time. Okay, you can change the font, but it basically will give you a feel. Understand? Let's just use this. This is one of my favorite themes that I use, right? So you can see this, you can see different layouts and how they look at like this, the lines and the colors and all that. Okay, of course, you can change the number of the colors as well. Okay, so you can always import a theme as well. There are templates out there in the internet that you can just grab, import into your work, and keep editing it. Okay, so let's close this place. Of course, you remember what these are for now. This is for your version, the edits to show you the last time your work was saved. This is to view your comments. This is for your presentation. Now, for your presentation, I'm going right to left this time around, right? For your presentation, what happens in your presentation type? Okay, no, that's for this is for your meetings, right? Now, for your slideshow, for to commence your slideshow, right? What happens is, by the time you click on slideshow, your presentation begins immediately, right? However, by the time you click on this drop down, you see there's another option here called presenter view, right? This presenter view is simply saying, okay, I have made some notes here. If you look down here, you see click to add speaker notes, right? So you can add your notes, like explain. Let's say you want to make a point. There's a point on that slide now, like let's say um rich dad versus poor dad. But you want to make sure that you don't forget who rich dad is, or what rich dad said, a particular quotes that rich dad said, or a statement poor dad said, or whatever it may be, right? You can just come to presenter notes here and make a note of that, or speaker note here and make a note of that. You understand? Okay. So by the time you just click here, click presenter view, right? You will see that, okay, your presentation is now showing on the main screen, such as like on your projector screen, right? However, there's another screen that is projecting here that you may not be able to see, okay, because it is not meant to be seen by the public. You understand? So let me just open that. Give me a moment. Let me open that so you see what I am talking about. Okay, so okay, no. Just give me a moment. Let me set that up for you. Yeah. So now you will see this right here. Okay, I hope you can see that screen now, right? So this is the presenter view. Now over on this side, right, you will see all the notes that you have prepared, such that this is what your audience are seeing. This is your slide, this is the slide, right? And these are the notes you have actually prepared. So here now you'll get to see, okay, there's this story I need to tell at this point. There's this illustration I want to use at this point. There is this thing I need to say at this point. You understand? So that's that about the various presentation, the two presentation styles. Okay, so you can choose, maybe you need it, maybe you don't. Okay, but in your presentation, you can choose, how you want to present your work. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Of course, remember your share. Okay, we've still not changed the title yet, but remember how we share now as collaborator, editor, sorry, commenter, editor, and what have you, right? So coming back to the menus, remember what I said here about titling your text, your document, right? So the very first test, let's say test, right? This is the very first text in my document. So by the time I come here and click on it, it has adopted it as the title of my document or my presentation, right? So now looking at the various menus that exist in Google Slides, we have file, new, again, like we have in Docs, right? You have the presentation, import from template gallery, open, this is to open an existing one, import, you want to bring in slides from what you already have and import them in here, again, like we had in Docs. Make a copy. You can either make a copy of the entire presentation or selected slides. Okay, these are sharing options. You can choose to email it directly. You can choose to download it as PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So you can use it offline or as PDF or as image, JPEG, PNG. You can choose to rename it, move it from folder to folder. Now, another key difference here is that the page setup, right? The page setup, you can see this is to change the sizes, the screen dimensions, right? So now that I've done that, I see the screen dimension has changed, right? It's no longer as wide as it was, right? So you can, play around, see what you want. This is a standard, but oftentimes the most preferred is this wide screen, right? 16 by 9, okay? But of course, you can always still do 16 by 10. Personally, I like to make it as big as possible because, I'm a big guy now, so yeah. Okay. So let's begin 16 by 10. Okay, that took my lines away. So let's take it back to 16 by 9. Okay. You just need to check around and see the one you actually want. So edit, same thing as we had in Google Docs. I won't go through that again. View, you can choose to view it as in like the editing, you can choose to view the editing plane, right? Or the commenting plane, or just the viewing, so that you are just viewing, you can't make any changes to the document, right? Slideshow, you can bring in your slideshow, add animation, that's motions. On theme builder, you can choose to build your theme in the sense like the colors, choose your colors and all of that, right? You can choose to edit all that from here, so that way you're able to set your the elements, the layouts and all that in there, right? You can choose to show the ruler, your grid, your guides, such that you're seeing what, making sure that, especially like when you're having like your charts and all of that, you are able to see, make sure that everything is straight, and or let's say your charts now, you're tilting it so that all of those things are properly aligned, right? Your live pointers, you can choose to see collaborators pointers. Pointers basically are like, you just see like your console, right? You see what the collaborator has done right there. It's right there in the text of the place, right? Show speaker note, show film strip, all of these are there. You can choose to insert your image, your text box, your audio, this, that. Okay, I didn't talk about shapes in inserting table in docs. Okay, so when you come to insert, you can just come to insert table, and then you can choose the number of rows you want. See, it's extended. I think it extends till up to 20 before it stops. And of course, when you insert it, you can now just to add more if you need more, right? So then the rows, that your number of rows that you actually want, right? So see, you can just to add insert different kinds of charts, or you can just to insert the charts from your Google Sheets. You can just to insert certain diagrams like a hierarchy, relationships, cycles, and stuff like that, right? Your word arts, your lines, different kinds of lines are there. You can choose to see the comments, inside the comments and all that. Formatting, like we saw. Slides, this is where you choose to add new slide, duplicate a slide, delete a slide, skip a slide. Like in your presentation, now there's a particular slide you don't want people to see, right? So you can choose to skip that slide, right? Then there is change background, right? You want to change the background color. You want to change the layout of this particular slide you're on now to a different layout. You want to insert a particular transition. There are different transitions, so you can choose like your feed or slide from left to right. You can choose to set the speed. Okay, you can choose to set the speed. You can choose to animate different objects, and you can preview and all that, right? Then this is for your sorry, not that. That's not where we are. Our slides, right? So this arrange to arrange the order of your elements, group on group. This is for tools like your spelling. So see link element. This is to link elements. Hyperlinking elements with the web link like we did in Docs, right? Your dictionary, dictate speaker notes. Extensions, your add-ons. Talked about this. Your help as well. So this is again similar to Docs, right? So this plus icon here is to add a new slide, right? It's going to add next layout, slide layout by default, or you can just come here and add, new slide with layouts. You can choose to insert a new slide with a specific layout that you want, right? So let's go with, there's the one of just quotes. Okay, big number. Let's say you want to talk about, like, you want to say, okay, the total number of, or we have only 10% of the registered people for this workshop are here on the session tonight, right? 10% registered participants are live, right? Okay, this is not very visible. Registered participants are live, right? So let's make this a little bolder, right? And let's change the color to white. Okay, because this is a figure. Let's make this red, right? I mean 10 out of 100, not so, right? So we can say, okay, want to use the slide for this. Yes, and of course you can always come and change the what's it called now, the font. Highlight the font, the text you want to change the font for, and you have that right there, right? So let's change this instead. So let's say orange. Still not very visible. So for those of you who have attended, who know a bit about design, right, graphic design and stuff, you understand color composition, color theory, contrast and all of that, right? So you see that is still applicable even in your presentations, right? Or it's all design. So that's how you include that. So you can always click here to undo your last changes. So I'm undoing, clicking again and again, and that's how you see all those changes are being effected, right? Or you can choose to redo them. Okay, you can choose to redo them. Then this for print, this is a copy style. This is to zoom in or out. This is to fit, like you're zooming. Okay. My network has disconnected again. Okay. Good thing I'm making this recording now. If this happens tonight. Okay. So yeah, okay, that was zoom. Ooh, 200, and so feet is to bring it back to normal size, right? It's this, okay, zoom. So this is to escape. This is for your text box. Let's say there is a text box here now, and you actually want to, like, or there's no text box. There is no text. Let's say there is no text box here, okay, and you want to insert a text box. Let's say there's no text box here and I want to insert a text box. You can just bring this and click on this, and you see this plus sign, right? So just click and drag, and your text box is inserted, right? So that's that. Okay, then of course this is to insert image. This is to insert shapes, lines, different kinds of lines. This is to fill with a particular color, like so the background of your work, right? That's your text box now, or the element that is there, right? The particular color, your added comments, your backgrounds. You want to change your background color. Let's say you want to change it to red, for instance. You see that the background color has been changed to red. These are extra elements that I just put on top, so that's why I see it didn't change so much. Okay, so when you change your background color, you can see the option to add it to theme, meaning in the entire theme all the background is going to change to red, right? This is where you apply a new certain layout. So let's change the layout to let's use this time around, right? So let's delete this text box, right? So you can see title, subtitle, and then the body, right? So this is where you choose a different theme. We've talked about themes before, and this is where you can set your transitions as well. Okay, so I hope this has been clear. Then of course we've talked about the different downloading styles and all that, right? Then there is a feature that came out fairly recently, right? And that is to insert GIFs. Okay, so when you come to insert, you come to image, and then you come to image, and then you insert GIFs and stickers. Okay, everybody's going to stickers now, so yeah, you can just come here and you can search for images from the web, stickers from the web, what have you from the web. So the ones you see I use in my presentation, that's how I actually got the majority of them. So I hope this has been helpful, this has been beneficial to you, right? So let's go back to our presentation. So slideshow. Okay, make sure this is recording. Okay, great, it's recording. Okay, so for our tasks, we are expected to create a brief 3 to 4 slides, only 3 to 4 slides, please, not so many. 3 to 4 slides presentation on a healthcare topic. Okay, now your presentation should be neat. It shouldn't be too bulky, too voluminous in terms of the text to use. On a healthcare topic relevant to your work, whatever it is you're doing. You should apply features like using a theme, adding image, formatting text to be beneficial, and then share the commenter link in the group within the next 24 hours. Again, not viewer, not editor, but as commenter. Okay, within the next 24 hours. Okay, so I need to know, are you there? If you're there, just put some fire from emoji in the comments and the chat section, so I know you are there. Again, I am right in the comment section, also looking out for those who are here. So let us know, let us know, let us know. Right, let us know. Abi, you have all gone to sleep, so it's not just me that is here. Okay, so we're just going to take one tool, that's Google Forms. Google Form will lead into Google Sheets, but we won't talk so much about Google Sheets, and then we'll call it a wrap for tonight. I know this is a lot of information to grab at once. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so Google Forms, again, Google Forms is Google Docs, part of the Google Docs suite. So you have docs.com, google.com/forms. So let us dive right into Google Forms. Now, in fact, I don't think there's anyone I like. I don't think there's any Google tool that I don't like. Okay, actually, there's one. I'm not gonna say it. Okay, but I know that I don't like it. It's just there's more work to be done with it. Okay. Yeah, there's more work to be done with it. So yeah, otherwise Google Forms might go to whatever form you see I want to collect, whatever information I want to collect. Rest assured, my first tool to use is Google Forms. Sue me, is Google Forms. Like, anyway, moving on. Okay. So yeah, so let's just copy this and then let's open a new tab and let's close this tab. Let's open a new tab and enter. Okay, now by the time you open Google Forms, you have that's docs.google.com/forms, right? By the time you enter it, you come up with an interface like this. So you see different Google Forms. See, you see this one now is your health sphere account. Not so many forms, will not use it so much, right? But if you see my personal, you need to see my personal email, my personal Google account. Like, God is good. Okay, so you can start a new form like with the other tools. You can choose to start a new form. You can choose to select from the template. See party invite is here, t-shirt sign up. Like you're arranging for an event. They want people to sign up for your t-shirt, their sizes and stuff like that. There's a template here for you to use. RSVP for an event. Find a time for people to book an appointment with you, for instance. Event registration, feedback, order. Those of you that have e-commerce stores that run online businesses, right? You can just create a customer order form here, and you receive the mail every time someone fills the form, and begin to process the order and all that. So anyways, so these are the ones I've worked on, and now coming to a blank form so that we'll start from scratch, right? So this is the interface for Google Forms, right? As always, let's set our, this time we're starting with renaming a document. Okay, so let's see about Google, right? This will be the title of our form, right? So about, let's say about Google registration. Okay, so you can choose to like make it bold. See, it's bolder now. You can choose to make them italicize, of course, even this as well. You can choose to underline. Okay, you can choose to hyperlink. Set a link that's google.com. Okay, or let's remove the link, right? You can choose to remove text formatting, right? So that it will be like your normal text, right? Remove all the formatting once and for all. Yeah. So here is where you insert like a form description, what this form is about. I'm sure you must have seen that when you were registering for this for this workshop, right? So let's just copy this and insert this there. Right, so that's it. Of course, you can make certain parts of it bold as well, make it italicized, underline, add links. You can even add like number points, number lists. You can add stuff there. You can choose to add bullet points or totally remove the formatting, right? So make it normal, right? So let's remove all the formatting here. Yeah. So that's that about the section. Now about the header section. Now you see, this is a section. A section basically talk about is basically what a particular set of questions are going to be focused on, and the network has dropped again. Wow. Hmm. Yes. Okay. So the section is basically talking about like what a particular group of questions will be focused on. Okay. Okay, so Google Forms doesn't have like the offline version, okay, unlike Google Slides and Google Docs, so you can work offline, then it saves later on. So when you get this notification, know that you need internet ASAP, otherwise you will lose your work. Let it not be like nobody told you. Let me just tell you now. So yes, so you see, copy recent edits and revert your changes. See, all changes have been saved into Drive. So let's just refresh so that this notification can get off our face. Okay, see now, I had removed this, but it didn't remove because it could save. It didn't save. It is well with us in this country. Okay, so what was I talking about again? Yeah, section. Now, a section is actually a group of questions that have a common theme. Okay, again, theme talking about what it's about, the feel, and of those question types and stuff like that. So you could have a section on, let's say you're feeling for a patient now, right? You could have a section for physical assessment, right? Is that section now is for physical assessment. Now, since that section is for physical assessment, you now have questions like eyes, head, ear, nose, auscultation, percussion, palpation, and all of that, right? You can now have another section for medical history. Okay, now when you want to add a section, all you need to do is come to, if you see these options right at this side, right? You see this section, this one here. See, just added section 2 of 2. So let's say history collection or patient history, whatever you want to name it, right? Then you can just come to this plus here. This plus here says add question, right? You can just add a question to this section. So past, okay, I'm using caps. Past medical history, okay, or present medical history. You understand? Right? We'll soon come to question types, don't worry. Okay. So you see this is a section. Now let's say I want to add another section on um um okay, physical assessment, right? Or physical examination. Physical examination. Okay, again, just add, see your questions here. Let's see eyes, okay, ears, and etc etc. Okay, you can see, so this is section 1. Section 1 doesn't have any question here, so let's say section 1, um let's say section 1 now has this. Okay, this is already being used up as section 1, so let's say it's going to like talk about patient history or whatever whatever whatever, or you can just come up here and say biodata. Okay, or let's say patient data. Okay, so that's where things like name, uh name, what am I typing, name, dates of birth slash age. This where all of those things actually come in. You understand? So all of that comes in like that. Okay, so that's how you see that. And that's how you actually set sections. So sections are like, grouping a group of information that's about to be collected that have the same general theme. Understand? Right. So you have different question types. Okay. Now when you have these question types here, okay, this is supposed to be date of birth. Date of birth. Okay, now when you have this question here like this, you can of course add an image, right, just to buttress your point. Not necessary, but you can do that. That option is there. Okay, now you see it's this date here. You see this, the way the response here is to be requested is different from how it is here, right? So when you come here, this is where you choose your question types from this box right here, right? You see there is short answer question. This is where you write like one paragraph, one line responses, right? Paragraph is where you have to write like long essays. You understand? Like you're applying for scholarship, for instance, now, or you're applying for a job or something, personal summaries, what talking about your work history and all that, they come there, right? Here, this is where multi-choice questions, you give multiple options. Okay, let's say yes, no. Okay, and you could add other also, like that may be kind of question where they will need to like give an explanation, something, right? Then this one is where you give them a list of options and they're required to just choose one. You understand? Check boxes is where you give a number of options and they can choose more than one, right? Drop down is when they will see the question. Okay, they could see the first option. Okay, however, to see other options they will need to like click on the checkbox so that the rest of, sorry, the drop down, so that the rest of this thing, so that you are basically hiding the information and they just drop it down and choose, right? File upload, remember the instance at the story I told you, right, where I helped a company set up and an academy set up, and the student that registers, everything get the passport gets inserted in their folder and all that. So this is where you can request people to import that, to upload certain files like images, audios, videos, and stuff, right? So let respondents upload files to Drive. Remember, everything in your workspace is being saved to your file. So when you're setting this up, you should make sure that you set a limit. So otherwise, you can have somebody that will come and upload. If two people upload a 7 GB file, where's the space you use to do that work? Your folder, your drive is full. You understand? So it's good you set that up, and this is where you actually set that up. So continue, allow only specific file types. Okay, so that let's say you want to collect pictures, you don't want people to accidentally upload videos, right? Or you want people to upload videos, you don't want pictures, right? So you can choose to select this, and you can see upload documents or spreadsheets or PDF or videos or audios. You can choose to select multiple or just one. So the one I selected for that academy was just images. You understand? Then here, maximum number of files. So people may want to upload okay, so that in case like when you go like the other one, you understand. So in that case, you can choose to put 5, or you can choose to put just one, right? The maximum file size. This is where the file size comes into play. You can choose to say, okay, just 10 megabytes or 100 MB. That's the total size allocated to this particular respondent. So 1 MB. So if let's say their passport is bigger than 1 MB, for instance, they will have to go and resize it or compress it and then come back to upload. You understand? So a lot of forms that you feel, this is how they actually set some of those things up. Then here is something that you should also pay attention to. You see this required field here, okay? If it's something that you want that they must absolutely fill, okay, otherwise your stuff, your survey, your questionnaire won't be complete, right? It's good you fill this, like your name, personal information, and all that. This should be required. You understand? This should always be set to required. Otherwise, even if it's set to required, they can always just put NA there, and so long as there's something there, it has moved on. Otherwise, you can choose to put validator here. Okay, this question time doesn't have validation. Let's go to short paragraph. Let's go to paragraph, right? You can click this and then you see you can add a description or you can choose response validation. Response validation is simply saying, okay, I am setting certain criteria for this response this person is giving to be valid. Okay, so you can choose to say, okay, length. The length should be, you can set maximum character count or minimum character count. Let's say you don't want, you are telling them that, oh, they should fill a 200 or 250 worded essay, right? So you can come here and insert a maximum character count 250. You understand? So once it exceeds 250, everything they are saying is story, it will not go. It will prompt them to go and rewrite. You understand? To go and shorten it. You understand? You can also set your and the network is gone again. Whew. So you can always set your where were we? Where's the one we're using? Validation, date of birth here. So you can always set your is it response validation? Yeah. So you can always choose to set the kind of error message you want them to receive. You can say text too long, kindly reduce to 250 words max. So by the time you're filling this form now, and you're putting 300 words or 251 words, then hey, too long, too long, too long. This prompt is going to show up. Otherwise, it has a default prompt also. So also flag that up. So you can also choose to delete a question or you can choose to copy a question. Okay. Now there's actually another feature that is here. Let's say you have different responses and different what do you call it now? Different responses, different you want, let's say for somebody that let's say you are in the O&G world, for instance, right? And you are asking for like the gravidom and all of that, right? You want to say, okay, you have how many gravida are you? Let's say gravida 1, para 1, whatever it may be, right? Or you want to say, have you been vaccinated? Have you received, let's say the COVID vaccine, for instance, right? You want to collect information that's specific. You want to ask questions that are specific to people that have collected the COVID vaccine, for example. Okay. So what you can do is you can come here and choose. You see down here after section 1, what happens next? You can choose here, go to after filling this section, right? You can choose go to a particular section. You understand? You can choose any of the other sections to go to. Let's say go to section 3. So that way, this person that's filling this form now will automatically skip everything section 2. You understand? So you should be very careful when it comes to that. Then, even with this, when answering questions, when setting your question type to, let's say, multiple choice, okay, your response validation, see here now, another option has come. Go to section based on answer. You understand? So let's say a question is, have you been, why is my B not working? Vaccinated, right? So no double C. Okay, maybe vaccinated, right? No, this, right? So you can put yes, or you can put no. You understand? Now you see, because we already set this validation to go to section based on answer. That's why you see, okay, let's remove it now. You see those options are not there, right? So by the time you click on that, you see, okay, by the time someone clicks here, the person can go to section 3. So the person doesn't need to visit section 2, right? But when the person clicks no, we need to know why. We need to make sure that we register this person off for vaccination and blah 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 and all that. Person goes to section 2. You understand? But whatever be the case, after filling this form, the person after filling this section just set this to go to next section. Good. When you have validation criteria like this, it's good you select the go to next section category, because when a form is selected, after filling it will go to whatever default section is meant to be next, or whatever default section is here. Okay, so take for instance now we click on go to continue to next section, and here now we clicked on go to section 3. Everything is going to section 3. You understand? So you click on continue to next section over here. Okay, so that's how you select your question type. Those are the various question types you have. Yeah, okay. So you have linear scale, like on a scale of 1 to 10. How did you find this presentation? Something like that, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, how was the vaccine? What was your reaction towards the vaccine? Okay. Multi-choice grid question, like you have questions. Okay, you're asking question on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you respond to this? Punctuality, and will you grade yourself a 5 or a 10? What do you call it now? Effectiveness, productivity, time consciousness, time management, tutoring, things like that comes in here. Then dates, same thing, similar thing with checkbox, although it is instead of putting figures, you're just checking the box, right? So dates and date is basically like for the date of birth to make sure that it is validated. Okay, is an actual date. Otherwise, people put random information there, right? Then your time. You want to put a time, like okay, what time will be convenient for us to meet. You understand? You want it to be left to them. So maybe you can go and put 10 p.m. there, and well, so you can always come duration, set it to duration, set it to time, whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay, so that's that about the different question types. So this is where you choose to import questions from another form you already have. Right. This is where you choose to add titles and descriptions, or add images. You could even add your videos. This is of course, like I said, to add a new section. Okay, so that's that about that. Of course, you can duplicate a section. When you duplicate a section, everything about that section gets duplicated, including all the questions. You can choose to move a section or delete a section. Okay, so you take note of that. Then, when it comes to responses, okay, so all the responses, all the people that have filled your form, this is where the responses come. Usually, you see them and you'll be able to choose. Okay, let's go to a form that we have responses for. Okay, just give me a moment. Just copy this and paste and search up shops. Paste it and I'm searching on the same tab. Okay, just give it a moment, please. Okay. Let's see. We still have an untitled form. Patient data. Okay. Which one do we use? Let's use the registration form for this webinar. Oh, shucks. Okay, so responses, right? Wow, that's the responses. Okay. So you can see the responses. See, people. Okay, so by the time you come, this is the form, right? So by the time you come to responses, this is where you get to see all the responses. Understand? This is where you get to see all the responses. Now, it's good when it comes to responses, right? That here there are three different ways you can view your responses. Here you can see the summary of all the questions, okay, of all your responses. So everything is um everything is compiled here in this simple what do you call it, in this simple page, right? So you can see here now all the 90 responses I've had. About 75% of them are nurses, that's 68 people, and then you have these other professions that are there. We even have, I saw an engineer just now, right? Front desk officer, I saw engineer. Okay, then of course you see the keys, the legend here, right? How many of you? We have 64 people, 64%, 4.4% are not members of health experts. So you see that one. It has now. I know. Okay, we're able to reach more people outside of our community. You understand? And we're able to reach more people that are not necessarily medics. You understand? Yeah. So question, this is where you can like view responses based on the questions. Okay, so like now I'm viewing questions that are all the first name questions is are you Emeka? So 58 people said no, 32 people said yes. You understand? Then you have the individual responses for each person. I want to see what each person said, right? So this is where you see this, and of course you can choose to print the each person's what do you call it now? Each person's response here, or delete the person's response. Now, when you see, you can also choose to see your responses in a spreadsheet. Okay, now this is moving into Google Sheets. You can just view your responses in a spreadsheet. Okay, so by clicking view in sheets, it's going to open your spreadsheet that has all the responses. So you can see all the responses here, right? Now, in case this option is here because we have already linked this to a sheet before, but if you have not done that before, right, you will get something like this, link to sheets. You understand? By the time you click on link to sheet, it's going to start linking. It's going to bring this up. Okay, create a new spreadsheet or select existing spreadsheets. You understand? You choose to select existing spreadsheet and click on select. Then it's going to bring out the menu where you get to select all the spreadsheets. You see all the spreadsheets that you have in your drive. So you see all the spreadsheets. So it's now asking me, okay, which spreadsheets do you want to link that form to? Okay, so let's say create a new spreadsheet, and you just click on this, and then it's going to automatically open the spreadsheet. So yeah. Oh wow, so much time, so much information. Okay, so I think we'll be wrapping up here. We'll just have to stop at Google Forms. We're supposed to also cover Google Sheets and Google Drive, so we'll see what we can do to have a supplementary workshop for those two. Okay, but let's just try and cover up for Google Forms, right? So those are for responses. Now, when it comes to settings, there are different ways you can actually set your form so that it takes different actions. Okay, let's say you are providing a tutoring service and you're going to be asking questions like a quiz and stuff, right? You can choose to set this up. Okay, like an organization I once worked with, one of the my team lead there, she had a concern about having online tutorials, physical tutorials, or trainings for the team. And what I suggested was, okay, why not have online tutorials and then have like pre-recorded session, because everybody's complaining time, so you can have it pre-recorded and set, or at a particular time we have the training virtually, and at the end of which you send a form, Google form, right? And then everybody gets to see what they score, right, by making it a quiz. So you can choose to assign points. You can choose to set answers. Of course, you will set your answers so that if it's right. You can choose when you want them to get their answers. Whether, or to get their grades rather. Whether it's to be immediately after each submission. I want to click submit, they see their score immediately, or you want it to be, you want to review it first. Okay, before they see their responses, or you want to do negative marking, default question point value. You want to do, you can also set negative marking for this. Okay, so these are responses. You want to collect, how do you want to collect their emails? Do you not want to collect email at all, or you want to collect only verified emails? That's to say the person has to be signed into their Google account for them to fill the form, right? Or you want them to manually enter their email. That option is there as well. Okay, then do you want to send people a copy of their forms? Okay, after filling the form, they'll just get like the entire form, how they fill it, they get it in their mail. You could choose to put that off, or only when requested, or or you can put it to be always, whether you want it, don't want it to, everything will be sent to you directly. Okay, do you want people to respond, do you want to people to edit their question after a response? Okay, that allow response editing. Okay, or do you want to limit, and then do you want to limit it to just one response per person, right? That's also another option. Presentation, this is talking about how manage how the form and responses are presented, right? So you can choose to show progress bar so that people know that, okay, I am out of this length, out of 100%, I am like this much done, this much done, this much done, right? Or you could choose to shuffle the question order. Okay, like especially this applies especially when you're doing like tests and assessments and stuff, so that person A, we not go and tell person B that, oh, question number one is A, question number two is B, right? Because question number two for you now could be my question number 20. You understand? Because the questions are shuffled, right? Then confirmation message. I'm sure a number of you saw what I said in this section, right? Where I put a link that you clicked on and it brought you to my WhatsApp inbox, right? Where I now sent you the link to the group. So this is where you put things like that. Like after filling the question, after submitting the form, right? What do they see? What's your thank you message? That's what you put here, your confirmation message, right? There's of course there's a default message that shows your question, your response has been recorded. Done, right? So show link. Do you want them to show? You want to show them link to another question? Now, by the time you come here and click on limit to one response, that option will no longer be there. Okay, see, show link to submit another response disabled by limit to one response. You understand? So it's good you note that as well. Okay, do you want them to see the results on me? Like, okay, you want to see how other people have been performing and stuff like that. You will see that. Then disable autosave. Now, by the time you're filling a form, okay, usually it saves such that even if your phone goes off, you stop filling halfway. By the time you come back to that page again, it continues for you. Again, cloud computing, right? Do you want to disable that so that by the time they come, they'll start afresh again? Personally, I like to leave this deactivated, okay, so that make life easy for people now. Why stress people to start filling the form all over again, right? So default, question default type. Now, question default, this is where you say you want every question to be required by default. This I have this so that once you are filling my form, you must fill me that I put the question there. Don't I know why I put the question there? Why do you want to skip the question? You must answer every question that is there. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of violence, right? So collect email address by default, verified email address. Okay, so that's that. So yeah, so when you want to share your form now, okay, so this is where this icon here is where you actually come to set the theme for your form, like your header font, or you can choose your header font. That's this header here. That's even for sections, right? You can choose your question font, your text font. That's the response. You can choose to put an image. You can choose a different color, background color, all of that are there. Then this is how you preview. Just click on that and you preview your questions like this. Okay, then this is to undo, redo, standard stuff, right? This is where you come to add, to make a copy of your form, to move it to trash, get a prefill link. So like there are certain parts of your form that you could prefill. Okay, then send the link. That's the pre-filled link to people so that they'll just continue from there. Basically, you can print the form, you can add collaborators. You already know how to do this. You can script editor, like you want to customize it in a particular way and all that. You can add add-ons, keyboard shortcuts, and stuff like that, right? Then when you want to send your document, your form rather, okay, get the link to your form. So you can choose to send it via mail. Let's say you want to send it to only specific people, right? You can choose to send it via mail, enter their email address, the subject and stuff, include form in the mail, and then you send. You can also choose to add this person as an editor, okay? But typically what we do is we actually use this option here, this link option here, right? So you have the link here. You can shorten the link because remember that one is more, but this one is relatively easier, right? So you can just shorten your link and your URL and just copy and then you share. That's what we do, right? Or you can choose to integrate this form into your web page, right? By having this HTML code here. You just copy paste into your code box and move on, right? So this is to share the form to Facebook, to Twitter, and there you have it. Okay, so that about Google Forms. Not too complicated, but slightly more complicated than all that, but not too complicated when you actually give it a chance. Okay, so let's get back to our presentation. Okay, so like I said, we'll be wrapping up here for this presentation. Yes, we're wrapping up here for this workshop for today. This is almost 2 hours. Okay, so here our task: create a basic form relevant to your practice, such as patient intake or feedback survey. Okay, include 3 different question types. Remember, question types talked about paragraph, short paragraph, multi-choice questions, upload documents, all those things, right? So you choose 3 different types: multiple choice, short answer, and checkbox. Just these 3 different types, okay? And customize the form setting based on your intended use. Then share the link in the group within the next 24 hours. Okay, so that's 3 assignments for Word, for docs, for slides, for forms. Okay, so you can see that. Then of course we have Google Drive. We're meant to work on Google Drive, Google Sheet. Of course, Google Form we're meant to enter into Google Sheets. Okay, so I hope you're still there. Okay, so Google for Gmail also has its settings, but we'll not be looking into that today. Okay, Gmail also has a number of really cool settings, right? One of my favorites is scheduling mails. Scheduling mails came up, I think, sometime last year. It was the end of last year, right? Where you could, schedule a meal. Let's say you want the meal to go out by 8 a.m. on Monday, but by 8 a.m. you'll be at work, you'll be busy with work. So you can just type the mail today, schedule it to go out by 8 a.m. on Monday, and by that time it automatically goes out. Before, we used to have Gmas, right? As well as other plugins that actually make that happen. But Google said no, they want to do it themselves now, and they were able to say that. Another feature is uh email signatures. Okay, so like instead of always typing regards Martin Ayube, so you can just set it. Every email you send, you'll have that in it. Okay, then you now have, like, if you see some people's email, you see like plenty things under the email. You think it's every time they put those things? It's not every time. They have set it in their signature. You understand? Then you have the vacation responder, which is also there, so that when you are not available to respond to email, let's say you're on leave or something, anybody that's sending it, they will receive that mail. Sorry, I'm not at work. Contact so and so person via this, or I'm not at work. Wait till so and so day. You understand that kind of situation? So that's some cool features in Gmail. Of course, you can also arrange your mails as they come in to enter whichever category you want. Then, of course, you have Google Calendar. See, I tell people, if we have a commitment, we have a meeting, and I did not enter my Google Calendar, my dear, you enter one chance, because chances are another thing will come up and I'll put it there. And once that thing is there, it is what my calendar is telling me. That's what I'll work with. You understand? So yeah, it helps you stay coordinated, help you stay organized. You understand? And of course, you can create the link for your calendar. You can put it out there so that people can schedule booking an appointment with you and all of that, right? So Gemini AI tool. Now, Google has a lot to do with the AI tool, but it's improving. Really, it's improving. Okay, but there are other AI tools that I actually find to be better. So, yeah, but you can as well use it. It has access to Google, so you're using GPT-4 and all of that. Yeah. So there's Google Meet, what we were supposed to use today. The fact that this is live means we probably didn't use it, but yeah. Okay, so Google Workspace is known for its cloud-based approach. Everything is synchronized basically automatically, right? So which allows users to collaborate on documents, spreadsheets, presentations in real time and access files from anywhere, so long as there is an internet connection. See, the internet has been fluctuating today now, right? So if we were working together, you would have probably been, well, okay, so we've got an exciting news for you. Thank you very much for staying till the end of this presentation. However, we've got an exciting news for you. Okay, we have Revamp conference coming up in the month of November this year. Okay, November 8th. Okay, Revamp conference is a conference that we hold every year. Actually started last year with the aim of exposing medical professionals to opportunities that exist within the tech industry. Okay, for financial and personal productivity and on development, right? So Revamp conference this year is going to be bigger, it's going to be better. We have like a 1 month practical bootcamp where you get to learn certain skills, right? Last year we only told people about skills. You got to have a teaser session on certain skills like programming, like digital marketing and a few others, right? But this year it's going to be hands-on, like you're going to work on it. So there's a bootcamp coming up as well. But to actually get that information, you may want to go, pre-register using this link, bit.ly/revcon24. The link will also be in the description as well as in the group. Okay. So you want to go to this link, you want to pre-register so that you are kept informed every step of the way. You understand? You don't want to miss it. Believe me. You don't want to. You don't want to miss this. Because what we have lined up for you, right? You don't want to miss this. Anyways, that's it from us tonight. Good night and God bless. Cheers.